Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast. It is a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. On this episode, we are joined by Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast. Speak on your podcast real quick.
Yeah, so
Right.
first
We need to know where we can find you online.
yes, first shout out to the C4 family, the content creators of color. So thank you for really encouraging me to get back into podcasting. I love it. So it's called Heal and Power Release, the healing session, and it's on Spotify and pretty sure other places. And I talk about mental health issues in our community and what we can do about it. The first one I did was on self-forgiveness, and this most recent one I did was on boundaries. And so I'm due to record more and put out.
Okay. And then I have your links with your YouTube and TikTok.
Yes.
So we will share that. We're really excited to share that. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident Podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. We are very happy to have one of our most favorite co-hosts today. One of our most cultured and experienced podcast brothers, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza Podcast, who proudly hails from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa. He is a two-time nominee for Best Diasporic Podcast, and he has been a presenter at the renowned Afros and Audios Podcast Festival discussing Pan-Africanism. Welcome again, Sambaza. How's it going?
Thank you. Oh, the going is good. Every day, every week, everything is looking nice. Welcome, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, and you get the notifications when you get the bell. And let's do this.
For sure. For sure. And so, in honor of International Women's Month, if you joined us last month, you had a great experience with our last host, our guest, Tiffany B. During our series last month, we kicked it off for International Women's Month, highlighting extraordinary stories and achievements of women contributions across diverse cultures. And so we're really excited for this series. The goal is to amplify the voices of women who have made a significant impact in various fields, from activism, health, science, business, arts, a little bit of everything. We're really excited. In this episode, we will have a special guest as well. So, special treat for you guys. We will sit down with a phenomenal mental health counselor to discuss the specific challenges and stigmas surrounding mental health and that women are facing, and specifically in the Black community. So we're really excited about that. We'll touch on cultural, societal, historical factors that contribute to the disparities. It's just going to be great. I'm excited. So
yes,
introduction. For sure. Who we have today is Denise D Moore, LMHC, owner and proprietor of Grow, Empower, Transform Therapy LLC. With her private practice, Denise offers an individual counseling seminars, workshops. She has created 2 journals. She has a podcast, a YouTube channel, and offers mental health therapy to clients all around. And she does have a background working with hospice patients, mentally ill, the autistic population. And we are really excited to bring her in.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi, Jen. Hi, Sambaza. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Welcome to have you. Oh, let's dig in onto this. We heard this great tribute regarding what you do. To start us off, we have a few questions that, I have a question that I'll start off with. What are some of the unique mental health challenges that Black women face, particularly in today's society?
Okay, you're going to go right for the jugular.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Unique. I would say, well, first, Black women while we do have, Black women suffer from depression, anxiety, and trauma, a lot of times our symptoms do look very differently, and how we perceive those symptoms are very different as well. Such as, oh man, I'm feeling lazy today. I couldn't do anything. I just wanted to sleep all day. I had no energy. Not realizing that you may suffer from some type of depression,
Mm,
or I'm just I was procrastinating. I was just putting that off. I didn't want to touch it, and I just decided to distract myself by doing something else. And we look at that as anxiety. And the biggest issue that Black women face is that Black women stereotype. That stereotype really causes a lot of women to not ask for help, to stay quiet, to be dismissive of their symptoms, to put other people first, to have a lack of boundaries, and to just not seek mental health at all.
definitely. And when you say that Black woman complex, are you speaking of like Black women are strong or the strong Black woman?
The strong Black woman.
Hmm.
When what I do now is when someone say, Denise, you're strong, I ask them to define the word strong. Because societally, well, in society, if you say the Black women are strong, she doesn't need help. She got it. She can take $1 and make it work. She can take a pack of noodles and stretch it among 8 people. It are those. It's stuff like that that happens in our society. And when women do come and seek therapy, when they're talking to us, we're able to really listen and hone in and really speak to their issues and what's happening. And you find that a lot of times Black women are embarrassed
Hmm.
and feel ashamed, because if you're not living up to that Black woman stereotype of being strong and not asking for help and doing it on your own, you're seen as weak, and there's something wrong with you.
Definitely.
It's funny when you
Hmm.
it's funny when you add sorry, you funny when you add this and you say that Black women put themselves first. Tiffany B last week when she was talking about healthcare with women, she actually said your sentiments right here, and that's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
It
Yes.
is. It is. That kind of takes us into the next question we have for you, Denise. What are some of the common misconceptions or stigmas surrounding mental health within, I guess, among women or in the Black community? There does seem to be a stigma. So I want you to speak on that.
Well, in the Black community, there's definitely a stigma still among Black individuals seeking mental health assistance.
Mhm.
Again, you have that. I'm not crazy. I don't need medication. I'm not going to tell anyone my business. I'm going to keep that adage: what happens in the house stays in the house.
Mm.
It's a fear that people are going to look at you differently. On the flip side, we are also seeing an influx of Black individuals come into therapy, because what happens in the house stays in the house was killing people. It was adding to their mental health, which will then cause mental illness. They were not having their traumas addressed. They were not, seeking assistance for depression if they have it, or anxiety. And the amount of times we as therapists have to coax an individual into just going to the doctor, because a lot of medical issues mask themselves as mental health issues. And so just encouraging going to the doctor, having some blood work, even just letting your doctor know. If your doctor is culturally competent and does not want to dismiss you.
Mhm.
Because even in 2024, we still have medical professionals dismissing Black individuals and Black women because of the stereotype.
For sure. And
Hmm,
Sambaza.
interesting. So now, when we talk about these systematic barriers, in what ways can the systematic barriers as limited access to health care and socioeconomic disparities impact Black women with their healthcare outcomes? And I know there's this, there's that angry Black woman thing that we always look at. I don't, where I know as a man, we always have me as an African. When I look at even when I was looking at an African American woman, I was looking at her as the angry Black woman who can flip in terms of a switch. I guess that was my a cultural thing. However, at this time we're looking at the limited access to healthcare and social economic disparities. Maybe mine will be on the social economic part where, or maybe the cultural part, or where we can kind of digest that. So, how does it impact Black women in mental health outcomes?
There, it depending on the therapist or medical provider that Black women go to, hopefully they
Mhm.
are culturally competent,
Mhm.
because there are still individuals who believe that Black women exaggerate their pain levels,
Mm.
um, that we're very much dramatic in our symptoms, or we don't know what we're talking about. So, first, we have to go to, and seek out culturally competent individuals. Sometimes they are Black and sometimes they're not.
Mhm.
But we really have to go and seek them out and do our research. Within our, between me and my colleagues, we try to specifically seek out other Black professionals, other Black healthcare providers, because
Mhm.
what we're finding now is that Black individuals will listen to Black individuals, other minorities as well. If I have a Hispanic client, they said, "Do you know
Mhm.
anybody Black or Hispanic?" Same as with Asian Indian as well.
Mhm.
So first we have to seek that out. It's very difficult if I'm going to the doctor and I'm letting you know that I'm having a pain in my chest, and all you can focus on is, oh, well, maybe if you lose weight, or because this runs in your community, and you're not
Mhm.
giving me the correct testing that I need to see
Mhm.
if I have a heart issue that doesn't run in my community, or I am dealing with something medically related. Maybe my iron is low, maybe my B12 is low, or vitamin D. So instead of just being dismissive, it would be helpful if everyone can be culturally competent when they are treating Black women and our Black brothers and sisters that's out there.
For sure. Definitely important to be sensitive. Sambaza, you want to take a look at the comments? We have some
Okay.
comments.
Um, no, we don't have any comments yet.
Did
Let
you
me see.
refresh? I can see
So
comments.
yes, I first. We have Ed Campbell, and Ed Campbell says peace and gratitude, and says, "This is a question to you, Denise. Um,
Okay.
when do you think, or why do you think, sorry, why do you think so many Black women are reluctant to seek help? That's AKA therapy. That's Ed Campbell's
Mhm.
question.
Because if we're seeking help, we weak. If we're seeking help, we can't do it on our own. And we have to be strong.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
because we hear that so much, and we feed into that, we really take that on. Like, man, you mean to tell me I can't go to work, and I can't pick up my children, I can't come home and cook, and then make sure my husband is good, and then clean the house, and then do a little laundry before you mean I'm actually tired?
Mm.
And so again, it's that those lack of boundaries, and the lack of asking for help, and it's culture and it's environment.
Right.
So if you did not grow up in a family that's saying it is okay to ask for help, that's a problem. Or if you ask for help and your family put you down, who can you really go to? Especially if you
Right.
don't have that support system in place and built up. So Black women are not always seen as strong, in a sense that, man, you were so strong, you asked for help, you knew when to ask for help. That's still
Mhm.
kind of, it's still looked at as weak in a way for Black women, until we realize it's okay for us to go ahead and ask for help, and get that help, and sit and wait for the help to come.
True. And then I know you asked about women, but I think Black men are equally are reluctant as well, and some of those same reasons. Looks like there's another comment.
Let me refresh here for a minute. Um,
So Jen, you spoke on Black men. So Black men, their reluctance to go to therapy is because there's not always a safe space for them to go to. And one thing that we have noticed, and they have noticed, is that when they are able to become vulnerable, many times it does get thrown in their face. And for years and decades, they have been taught not to speak about their feelings and to man up, because if they did that, they were seen as weak. So again, it goes back to having a culturally competent medical professional, healthcare provider that can truly understand, that can put aside their stigma or their racial disparities. Just put it to the side. If you know you cannot work with a population, don't work with the population because you'll do harm and a disservice.
All right. I guess I'm going to go to the next question here, Denise. What are some culturally relevant coping mechanisms or resilience building strategies that Black women can utilize to navigate them through their mental health challenges?
So if you are having, well, one, everyone has mental health.
Mhm.
Everyone has mental
Mhm.
health. We want to make sure that we have those healthy coping skills when our emotions are unmanageable and we need help regulating them. Mental illness comes into play when we are diagnosed with a mental health issue, such as mood disorders, such as depression, anxiety, could be schizophrenia, it could be bipolar. However, some culturally coping skills, we have something called screen meditation.
Mm,
Yes, meditation is not always quiet. It's not
okay.
always, just it's not always like that. Meditation can be loud. Meditation, the screen meditation definitely helps a lot. I'm not going to demonstrate. Helps a lot, especially if you have a lot of stress and pressure that you need to release. It's just like the humming breath. So instead of just having an easy breath in and out, when you breathe out, you hum. That's another great coping skill that Black women can use. Dance is great. We love to dance. Sometimes if you got to get in your house, twerk it out in your house. Go ahead and do that. There's also something called comedic yoga, and there are different comedic yoga poses that we're able to use to help release some anxiety, trauma, depression, and some of that stress that we experience.
Those are
Some
great
people like,
tips.
yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
journaling helps a lot if you like to write, and so does music. But get into a healing circle.
Okay.
Find a healing circle in your area where you can come together. It's a safe space, a sacred space where you and other Black women can come together and really just talk about your issues and pour into one another. It's a healing space. That's what that is.
Awesome. And Sambaza, are you able where you can see comments or do you want me to do it?
We got comments here. Crate Digger is in the room and he has
Hey,
given us a
Craig.
thumbs up. And Ed Campbell says this is the most necessary conversation. I greatly appreciate Denise and the wisdom she is sharing. Shout outs to Jen and the King moderating this profound platform. Um,
Mm,
Ed has another question here where he asks, this regards to Black men. Uh,
Okay.
why there are so many Black men that are reluctant to seek therapy as well. I guess I read as women. This Ed, we're
Mhm.
talking
mm,
about women.
mhm.
We probably will do a men's session another time. But he also says maybe you can touch briefly on the men part. One of the things that he's saying is, what tips do you give one to heal from emotional trauma, aka emotional soul wounds?
So emotional trauma. First,
Right.
first admit that you have an emotional wound. Admit
Mm-hmm.
that you have it. A lot of times we do not like to sit with our feelings. We want to feel happy all the time, and that's not the case. That's not reality. When we are going about our day and we have a thought come up and there's an emotion that happened, feel that emotion, recognize it, write it down if you need to, so you can go back and try to understand what it is. So a lot of times when we're in relationships with anyone,
Mhm.
things will come up and we are reminded that we're not healed from certain things. So once you recognize that you're unhealed from something, from any emotion, write that down. Let's sit with that emotion, see if you can identify it. And there's an amazing feeling wheel that's on the internet, and it has more than happy, sad, and angry. It's a lot of feelings out there that we do not identify. There's a lot of thoughts that we confuse as feelings. So
Mhm.
write that down. Cry if you need to cry. If you have a lot of pent up anger,
Mhm.
scream it out. Play a song, sing it to the top of your lungs. You may need to go for a run or go to the gym. If you don't want to cry in front of people, go into the shower. Go into the shower and cry. There's a release that needs to take place, but you have to start recognize it and own it. I guess Sambaza said I was talking too much.
That's not,
No, no,
he
no, no,
rang
no.
the
That was
bell.
a mistake. That was a mistake. Sorry.
So I hope I
But that
hope
was a
that was
good
helpful.
point. No, that's to say
Mhm.
it's a good point. I also say gem. That's a gem right there.
There we go. Ashe. Okay. You mentioned journaling. And
Yes.
I growing up and coming up, I was such a big
Mhm.
journaler, and I want to get back to that. I kind of took the lead and purchased a new journal, the 90-day journal from brother Ed
Yay.
Campbell. So shout out to him and shout out
Awesome.
to his 90-day journal. And
Yeah.
he promised he would join us on a
Mhm.
future episode. So
Awesome.
yeah, so I'm definitely want to get back to that. I'm glad you spoke that up about
Journaling is
journaling.
Yes, journaling is great. And so there are a couple of different types of journals that are out there. Like you mentioned, Jens, 90-day journals. Journals are like can be 30 days or whenever. There are some journals that have blank pages and you can just free write if you want to. Some individuals like that. Some individuals like journal prompts as well. So if that's something that you like, pick one up that has a journal prompt. There's no right or wrong way to journal. It does not always have to be something bad or horrific or horrible. You can journal about, man, the sun was out today and I loved it. I got in the sun and activated my melanin. You could just write something like that if you want
Right.
to. And just because your journal is 90 days does not mean you have to complete it in 90 days. It doesn't
Okay.
mean you have to answer every single question, in that journal, like in order. Like choose a page and go from there. Like this is your life, your
Mhm.
healing, your coping skill, and your strategy.
Definitely. And so I think it's my turn to ask questions. We got off track with the comments. We appreciate
Okay.
our listeners are so engaged. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys. We appreciate you so much. My heart is so full that we have a couple folks tuning in on the live. And if you're watching this on the replay, shout out to the replay.
Hey.
Okay, so let's see. We talked about the coping mechanisms, which is so important. Now, how can Black women effectively advocate for their mental health needs within the healthcare systems and communities?
Keep talking, keep going, and keep moving forward. So one, let's take that mask off of I want to appear as the angry Black women or strong Black. I don't want let's take that off because we are not that anyway.
Hmm.
So Black women advocating for themselves can be seen as angry. Like there are some Black women that has I've heard stories. I had to apologize to my coworker who was not Black because they said something to me and I told them how that affected me and they went crying. I don't respond to the salty tears at all. And so if you're advocating for yourself and then you're being told you're being bad, a lot of times people stop. Keep
Mm,
going. Keep pushing. Keep making the phone calls. Ask your friends, ask your family. Continue to call people. Go online to the internet. Facebook has so many groups. Ask a
mm,
question on Facebook, on your Facebook wall. Hey everybody, I'm looking for ABC XYZ. Keep
mhm,
going. The amount of stories I hear of Denise has told the doctor and the doctor's not listening, and then you find out later that their medical issue could have been treated a long time ago if someone would only have just listened to them. So please, y'all, keep going and don't stop. Keep going and get help. Get help. Like call people. Help me find this. Help me find that.
that is so true. And I actually witnessed that within my own
Mhm.
social media thread or feed within my network. One particular friend put out there, "Hey, I'm looking for a new primary doctor of a
Mhm.
African American female is what I'm looking for, who can share." And you should have just seen all of the people popping in the links of their doctors, all the people in our network in the same city,
Mhm.
with all these different recommendations. So, maybe you can hit Google, but you can just tap in, like you said, to your own personal network and reach out that way.
Absolutely. I was talking to a colleague earlier and she was trying to get panel with an insurance and they told her that, oh, we have too many and we can't. And so that, a lot of times we run into that as well. We cannot get on many insurance panels because they tell us no. So it's not that we don't want to take insurances. It's that sometimes we get told no. There's too
Mm,
many, or no, there's not. Oh no, we can't. So if you need to speak with a black individual, you can call your insurance company and say, I'm looking for a black therapist,
mhm.
female, between this age, specialize in this, and they will get it for you. And if not, just come into our inbox, ask on Facebook, ask in so many groups, and people will just start giving you the information.
Right. That's amazing. So I hope everyone takes heed to that. And we definitely want to break those stigmas down. I mean, I even, you know, fell, prey to some of that stigma. And, you saw a lot of, during the pandemic, a lot of offers for therapy virtually and things like that. And I, signed up for one and I kind of chickened out and canceled it right away. Just, I don't know, just like I said, being a chicken. So, we want to break down those walls and that stigma that, oh, we don't need, help, or if you get help, that makes you less, adequate as a person or something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I know we have a problem, especially in the African community. I'm talking about since I'm an immigrant from Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
When we come here to the country, there's still that stigma of trying to seek help, be it the men or the women. I think that's still on the part that has a cultural role to play. And since we're focusing on women, the women still do have a role to play there, whereby they are also asked. Like I say, it's not tied down to America. It's America itself. It goes beyond the borders.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we come here as immigrants, it's really hard to seek for help. You're trying to figure out what other resources or other things that you're trying to get for your family. Um, when you get tired, like you said, you want to admit that you're tired. No, the average American say the average not American, but the average African comes to the country and says
Mm-hmm.
they want to work hard, they want to do all that, and you have family pressure. And what's
Mm,
different in terms of family pressure is that when you come here, and let's say you're the only one in the family that makes it here, they
Mm-hmm.
expect you to change their lifestyle back home, which means you have to work extra in order to be able to sufficiently cater for them, and that in itself can bring in mental problems,
mm-hmm.
which is what I wanted to add for the people who may be watching all over the world and or anywhere in the world that may want to get to capture this information and know that it's okay. If you need to seek therapy, seek therapy. And I've noticed that in the African community now is when they're actually making it acceptable, even though there's some issues with that. Um, I'll say it's still a problem with our community. Yeah.
Absolutely. And healing is taking place, and healing has to take place with one individual at a time, one family at a time, and one community at a time. It just takes that one person to break that generational cycle that's been passed down. They're considered the black sheep, and it's okay because the black sheep is rare anyway. There's nothing wrong with being a black sheep in your
Mm,
family, positively. For that,
for sure.
yeah.
Right.
That is
All
so
right, Denise. So
deep.
we had this other question
Okay.
regarding resources and
Okay.
organization and support networks and groups. Do you have any that you can recommend to the people who are watching or the listeners out there that they can seek out help and get whatever they need and whatever assistance they can get there in terms of the mental health?
Okay. So the Loveland Foundation, they help Black women. They help pay for about 8 sessions, I believe. So does Black Men Heal. You have that. There's also Black Women Healing Retreats. Men, I have not seen retreats for men yet, but I think y'all are trying. Y'all are trying. Just it's either just Heal Bro or just Breathe Bro. They just did a tour, right? They were here in Tampa, and I was so excited because I wanted to attend. And it was like, it's for men, Denise. And I was like, all right, I'll just share because it was that sacred space just for the men. And
Mm,
again, healing circles in your community. If you type in healing circles, just look for something in your community because they have that out there too. And locally, there are different organizations that will definitely provide that space that you're looking for.
When you mention healing circles, I don't know
Yeah.
why the I don't know if it's a type of therapy or a certain class where they have those bowls with the sounds that may
Sound
not
bowls.
have. Yeah. Can you
That
speak to
is,
any of that?
yeah, that's part of healing as well. Um, Sound bowls that helps with meditation. That also helps with the releasing. When I just did my healing the mother daughter relationship event, we did a release
Yeah.
at the end with sound bowls with our
Mm.
healer Damasha Katrina. There's also Reiki. A lot of people look at certain alternative healthcare and think, well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure if I can do that. Well, why not? Go check it
Right.
out and ask questions. Reiki is good. You have sound energy. That's amazing. Also, you can get a whole sound bath. Like if you look for
Yes.
look for a Reiki healer in your area or a sound bath healer
Mhm.
in your area and go and ask you some questions. Some people like to sage. Some people like to um, use resin also and use
Mhm.
crystals. Go and ask questions. Go to these places. And I love asking questions. I'm open minded. I want to know. The clients that come and see me, they practice so many things. I want to at least have some type of cultural competence. When a client comes and see me, I can say, yes, I know about that, or no, teach me about that.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
teach me about that.
And
It's
I
Awesome.
have a
it's a
question
lot out
here.
here.
You did you did something. You talked about an event that just did a couple of weeks, is it a couple of days ago, or a
Yes.
couple of weekends ago. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about that event, and if you're
Okay.
planning to do more? Yes.
Okay, so that event was called Healing the Mother-Daughter Relationship. So
Mhm.
me and my healers, we got together and we put on a seminar slash workshop for women and daughters to come and work on your relationship. We gave tools. We spoke about how it affects the generations. Miss Kiera Haywood, like she broke down the whole generational cycle, what it is from medical to environmental to food to everything that can affect that, and the relationships that if your grandparents raised your parents a certain way and you're bringing that on, and how you can break that up. I spoke about forgiveness and self-forgiveness and the importance of that. A lot of
Mm.
people don't want to forgive themselves and think they have to pay penance all the time and they cannot be happy. Another one of our colleagues, Miss Shonda Peaton, she spoke on shame and how we see shame and how we perceive shame to see us. And
Mhm.
that's another reason why we don't speak about it. We don't try to come together and heal. And then our healer, Mr. Mash Katrina, she spoke on healing and letting go. And she did a sound bath in the end. And she guided us in a meditation and also the humming breath. And it was very powerful. So we have been asked to present at a church, and we have been asked if we'll do this on Zoom so it can be over the United States or around the world. And we are going to present again because there are many individuals who weren't able to attend that one. So
Mhm.
we're very excited about that. In June, I'm focusing on the strengthening the father and son relationship.
Mm. Okay.
In September, we're going to do the father and daughter relationship. In December, the mother and daughter. No, I'm sorry, the mother and son relationship. And then in 2025, we'll focus on the siblings and cousins. We want the whole family to heal. We want the family to begin to speak about these conversations because now that
Mhm.
we outside, we're out the house.
Right.
Therapists are black, psychiatrists are black. We're culturally competent. We're healing. We're speaking, we're here, and so now we want I want my daughter to have a better life than I had,
Mhm.
and so that's what we're doing, and we're changing.
That's amazing. And that was a local event,
Okay.
right? So
And
that can't be
Yes.
okay. So we don't have that to share, but when you do it again, if you have that uh, information where people can join virtually,
Mhm.
we would love that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
so I gotta throw this question. I think it's gonna keep coming up, and
Okay.
I did last week, and I asked Tiffany B. As men, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to help our spouses, our loved ones, those who are close to heart? Because in in times when we're together, you can notice that at some point stress catches with your soulmate and somebody that you live with. What can we do as men?
To help when they're stressed, when we're stressed. Okay. Um, Ask if we're stressed. Because sometimes we could just have, I don't know, may just be thinking about something and you might, oh man, she look upset and stressed. One, just ask. Two, also ask what can you do? Because sometimes we are able to know that we're stressed and we can tell you what you can do. And other times we may not have the answer. And if you want to assist them, you can try to name some things out to see if that can help. A lot of times we don't know what it is. We don't know what to call it. We don't have a name for it. We just know that we're feeling some type of way or I'm feeling quite not right. And when you ask, well, tell me where are you feeling it in your body? What exactly is happening? That opens up the conversation and more dialogue. And then we may be able to, offer more solutions if that's what you want to do. Hopefully you have a spouse that wants to do that for you.
And I'll share also, I know just
All right.
dealing with a big grief moment in my life, it's nice to just be present, someone to be present with you during those times of sadness, especially, you may not necessarily want you to do something in particular,
Mhm.
but just be present and sit with you, just, be, I mean, if that makes sense, to be present for you. You may not necessarily need a whole lot of words or
Mhm.
a particular task done, but just to be present with you, dealing with grief, for example. Sambaza, additional thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Right now you're all good.
Like,
Thank you for the information that we have received. And I checked the comments. Comments are good. Now Ed is asking for the information to be placed on the chat so that he can get some more information regarding the resources, or maybe we'll provide them on the comment section or on the description section, right?
Oh,
And then
absolutely.
he'll be able to get that information and use it to better ourselves and maybe send to somebody else who may need that information and find it useful and help them out. So we really appreciate that, Denise. That was really really great, and you starting that campaign to help
Yes.
everybody else in the family, especially family. It's great. All I'll say is I wish you the best of luck in what you're doing, and sky's the limit. Not even
Thank
sky's the
you.
limit. I'm talking about the universe is the limit.
Yes.
okay, love
Appreciate
that.
it.
Definitely. And so, we are so appreciative to Denise who, you know, joined us for this live and podcast episode. The audio version will be out very soon. We appreciate this informative discussion on the complexities of Black women's mental health and the importance of culturally sensitive approaches to care. Um,
Absolutely.
Definitely. So important to discuss these things ongoing. Sometimes you hear about it and then it kind of goes away, but we definitely want to amplify this conversation and keep it going for sure.
Yes.
So we do want to pivot and ask you a question from the good people at Poddex.
Oh, yay. What's their
Okay.
question?
Sambaza, you have your bell ready?
I
Sambaza wants to.
do.
Wait, what's the bell for? Okay, what's the bell?
You got about 10 seconds, give or
Oh,
take.
wow.
10
Oh,
seconds. Okay, I thought we had 30.
Yeah, nah,
So
I'll give you 30 seconds.
oh my
you're
gosh.
gonna give
I'll
her
be
30
nice.
seconds. Okay.
30 seconds.
Or now you only got 10.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's do two of them. Okay. Here we go. This one's kind of a long one, so you have to think about this one.
Okay.
If you were going on a road trip, what are the three must-haves you could not leave without?
Ooh, water, cell phone, and a charger.
Okay.
That's
Okay. I mean, I guess
You
that's
need you
pretty
need the bell.
explicit.
if my car
Oh,
died, come get me.
Come get her. Okay. Okay, we have to do one so he can ring the bell.
Oh, okay.
Do another
He already
one.
did once. I'm good.
Let's see. Okay, if you had an extra hour in the what would you do with an extra hour in the day?
Oh, so if I had an extra hour in the day, what would I do with an extra? I was trying to give you time to ring the bell, but I would go to the beach.
Okay.
Oh, that
That's
I
that's
it.
love
great
that.
too. Yeah.
I would go to the beach.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Sambaza, you
All
want to
right.
ring the bell?
No, I know. I was trying to give him time
Yes.
to ring the bell.
There we
We
go.
good.
Because
We good.
Yeah,
We good.
definitely go to the beach.
shout out to Sambaza who brought the bell in the car while he's picking up the kids from swim
Oh my God.
practice.
Listen,
Oh,
He's actually out of the door, looking at
the
me,
work
wondering
on
what
the
his
go,
daddy
right?
doing.
he's so
Yeah.
dedicated. Bless his heart. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, this has been great. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, the audio version will be out very soon and catch out this replay. Shout out to Craig Digga,
Yeah.
craigdigga.com for really great mixes and content.
Yes.
Ed
Yes.
Campbell has his journal out on
Yes.
Amazon right
Yes. Yes.
now, 90-day uh, journal, and he has
Check it out.
promised to be on the show. So we will have a sit
Cool.
down with Ed Campbell coming soon, guys.
Yes.
So that'd be awesome and dope. And we could go down the list of all of our friends. But we're just dope like that. So check us all out. Oh, Denise, speak on your podcast real quick.
Yeah. So
Right. We
first
need
shout
to know where we can find you online.
yes. First shout out to the C4 family, the content creators of color. So thank you for really encouraging me to get back into podcasting. I love it. So it's called Heal and Power Release, the healing session, and it's on Spotify and pretty sure other places. And I talk about mental health issues in our community and what we can do about it. The first one I did was on self forgiveness, and this most recent one I did was on boundaries. And so I'm due to record more and put out.
Okay. And then I have your links with your YouTube and TikTok.
Yes.
So we will share that. We're really excited to share that.
Thank you so much. I just want to say
You
thank
on
you for
TikTok?
having
What
me
you do on
on the show.
TikTok?
Just talk. Regular stuff. Just regular stuff. No, I can't say that
All right.
because you know how the earth is these days. I share some things about mental health and
Mhm.
talk about some
Okay.
mental health things too. It's very much important. It's very much important, especially if you want to change and you desire that change. You have to do it. You have to put in the work. You have to hold yourself accountable. So some of the
Right.
things I tell people is remember to love yourself.
Mm.
Love yourself. Tell yourself that you love you because we don't always hear that enough. Remember to forgive yourself, and it is okay to forgive yourself. I'm not talking about commit a crime today, I forgive me and do it again. I mean, forgive yourself from some of those past mistakes that you've did. And remember to be proud of yourself and tell yourself you're proud of you. You can look in a mirror and say that to you, as you should. Hopefully, you're doing with your affirmations as well.
I love that. Amazing. Affirmations. Yes, definitely.
Yes. Yes. Favorite.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I think I'm glad I remembered the content in the podcast for sure. We definitely champion
Thank
all
you.
of our creators and content creators. It definitely has a special place in my heart. I definitely try to give shine to people who have a podcast and are, wanting to get into podcasting. So I love that you started one. And so we can't wait for more episodes and we will share
Thank you.
that
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
for sure. And you're doing
Yes.
great on time. Any additional thoughts, Sambaza?
No, actually, I've been stoked to hear. I was stoked to get into this conversation with
Mhm.
Denise, and Denise really put out everything that I was wanting to hear. And shout outs to what she's done. I think with that community involvement, like we always talk about community involvement is very, very important. And when she brings in community together, and at least I know I have a therapist that looks like me around the corner. If I need to talk to, I can ask some few questions here and there. But
Absolutely.
on a serious note, it is good to see the um, the development of Denise, and I know you have some great things that are coming to you. And we're championing for you, and we'll be cheering you on. And we want to thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sambaza and Jen. Appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Well, we appreciate everyone for joining us on this very special episode as we round out our International Women's Month series. And we've hoped that today's conversation have inspired and enlightened you, shedding light on, like we said, incredible stories, contributions of women around the world. We have more great things coming up. Next week is going to be thebomb.com. That's all I'm going to
Ooh.
say. It's just going to be thebomb.com. Another phenomenal special guest. Please don't miss that one because she is just amazing. And
Awesome.
all right. And so, as we celebrate these achievements and the strength of women, let's remember that the journey toward equality and empowerment is ongoing. We encourage you to continue learning, supporting, amplifying the voices of women, and not just during this month, but throughout the year. Okay. So, if you found this
Absolutely.
episode meaningful, please consider sharing it with your friends. Shout out to the replay, share this out, and stay tuned for more engaging content. Like I said, next week will be a great episode with another special, phenomenal guest. Getting into some activism topics and such.
Oh,
So, I love
awesome.
my woke stuff. So, it's going to be the bomb. All right. And so, until next time, take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
At this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude the episode. We greatly appreciate you listening. We invite you to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. On Twitter, it is Woke by. On Facebook, it is Woke by Accident Podcast. We also have the new website up, www.wokebyaccident.net. Please check us out. And also follow us on all of your favorite streaming platforms. And please leave a review and share feedback. You can also reach out by Gmail, wokebyaccident@gmail.com. And every time you listen, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for listening and take care.